Hi guys, Diesel Johnny Boy here. I'm going to do today's video on hedgehogs and how you can improve your garden and give hedgehogs a better chance to thrive in the UK, because this species is really facing a catastrophic decline at the moment. You know, there are already large parts of Britain where hedgehogs no longer exist really, so we've got to try and help this animal. You know, everyone loves hedgehogs, don't they, from the Beatrix potter, tiddywinks and all that sort of thing. You know, the hedgehog is probably the nation's favourite little mammal, but a lot of people don't realise that it's in real trouble. So this video is primarily aimed at urban gardens where actually hedgehogs are doing relatively well. But as you will hear throughout the video, I have got a noisy road over there, and that is one of the problems that hedgehogs face in navigating through urban environments. So there's something we can do to help them, which I'm going to go over. So I hope you enjoy the video, and please comment at the end if any other people have got any other tips. Great. Okay, so one of the major problems hedgehogs face in urban environments is getting into people's gardens. There are a lot of gardens. There are gardens, if you look from Google Maps, there are gardens, you know, a lot of houses have gardens, even if they're only small gardens. But a lot of us like to fence our gardens, you know, that's our little bit of land, and we want to keep it for ourselves, and we put fences and walls around it. And that's all well and good, and it's nice to do that, protect your property, but hedgehogs cannot get into them. So there's a few simple things you can do. Now in my garden I've got two access points, and all I have done on this one, on this fence, on this gate rather, is I've lifted it up. It's lifted up about 4 or 5 inches. That's all you've got to do, lift it up. And if you've got close board fence, you can cut, well, you hear the bloody traffic in the background, or you can cut a square hole in the fence, which is about 4 inches by 4 inches, around about that sort of size. That's all you need. Now this gate, as I said, I've lifted it up so the hedgehog can get in and out easily into the garden. Because I've been out in Eden, I do bat surveys, and I've seen in some settings where the hedgehogs are walking along a close board fence and they cannot get into the garden. They are then forced to cross roads to try and get into a better habitat to feed, because they do roam a lot, hedgehogs. They're a roaming species. They can move several kilometres in a night, which they're forced to do sometimes to find better feeding areas, and they can end up that's when they end up crossing roads, and that's when they'll get squashed, the poor little things. So number one, access. Give your hedgehogs access. That is so important. Another equally important thing is your garden. Now, it doesn't matter how small your garden is, leave a bit of it to go wild if you can. Here's my garden. My garden's got, I'm quite lucky. My garden's not massive. I live in Weston-super-Mare, which is in North Somerset. I've got like a maybe slightly larger than average garden. So I've got hedges around my garden. Now they're quite dense and thick, and I've left those to grow. I've got wild areas here that I've created with my wife's touch with her heron. And we've got a little wildlife pond down here. So wildlife ponds are really good. That's made out of an old bathtub. You need to be able to allow a hedgehog to get out if it accidentally falls in. So I've got stones there around the edges so the hedgehog can climb out. They can swim, but if you've got a very straight-sided container, they're gonna drown, because they'll just flap around, they won't be able to get out. So make sure that if you have a pond, the animal has a means of escape. That goes for all other species, not just hedgehogs. So yeah, rewild your garden a bit, let it grow a little bit wild. You know, we don't have to have it all manicured. My lawn, I've got a lawn obviously, and I do cut the lawn. There's a wildlife flower meadow here, which I've actually cut back now. It's got nice bushes around the perimeter. Hedgehogs like places to hide away in the daytime, and you know, the more vegetation you have, the more prey species it will support. Over here we've got a compost heap, and I've got a big pile of old logs here that I've gathered up. So these are all really good. These bits of tin are actually for my slow worms. I wonder if there's any at home today. And under there, let's have a look under this one. Oh yeah, there is a baby slow worm there, you can just see it. There he goes. So that's one of the ones that's been born this year. None under there. So I've got slow worms in my garden. So rewilding your garden will benefit all sorts of wildlife. Plus you don't have to do so much gardening. So it's got some what's not to like about rewilding your garden. I actually got a tortoise as well, so that's my tortoise enclosure. And there's Georgie, a little mini schnauzer. So that's another one. Rewild your garden. Doesn't have to go like a jungle. A few bits and pieces around the edges. Hedgehogs and other wildlife will really benefit from that. And it looks pretty as well, because a lot of native species are very attractive. So yeah, bit of a teasel down there. I've got a little ornamental apple tree, so that's good for the birds, the fruit, the blackbirds and other species like that. Right, okay, so that's another thing you can do. The next thing is feeding your hedgehog. So that's a really, really beneficial thing you can do. It's straightforward, but there are a few things you have to remember when you come to feed a hedgehog. I'll just go through my little feeding station here that I've created. This is a very simple structure, which I will show you quickly. It's just one of those, a plastic storage box, which you can get anywhere from Home Bargains or any DIY stores. Just a regular plastic storage crate. I mean, there are other, you don't have to cut tops out of them, but I've done this so it's easy, so I don't have to keep lifting it up and mucking around. So I've cut the top out here for access so I can put the food in. Here's some food, which I've got in a little bowl, little shallow bowl. This is just cat biscuits. Now you shouldn't give hedgehogs bread and milk, and you shouldn't give them mealworms, so just give them something like that. You can give them wet cat food, or you can give them dry cat food. A little shallow bowl, pop that in there. Now I've got trouble with foxes and cats. I actually do feed the foxes as well, but they're greedy little blighters, and they will ram raid this device and turn it all over and get into it. So what I've created here is a little access tunnel, which is just made out of some plywood, to create an access tunnel what the fox cannot get. He can poke his snout in, but he cannot get in there, and the cat can't get in there either. The greedy neighbour's cats kept pinching the food, so I come out with this little device. It's only short, it's about a foot long tunnel. I fastened it down with a bit of bent metal. You can do it with a bit of wood or something or other. It's just a bit of ad-libbing, and the lid is literally just a piece of old corrugated tin. You can use anything you want really, and then I just weigh it down with an old head of a sledgehammer. So that's good. That does a good feed, creates a good little feeding area where the hedgehog can feed undisturbed. So you've got your feeding station. You also need a constant supply of water. Now that's really simple to achieve. Just a shallow bowl. This is an old flower saucer thing that you sit the flower pots in, just for water. So the hedgehog's always got a supply of fresh water, and any other wildlife, the birds will use it, the foxes. I've also got this other thing over here, which is a chicken fountain water. So it's got a reservoir of water in there, and as the water goes down, it self-fills. So that's quite a good device if you go away on holiday and you're worried that no one's going to check the water. You can leave that out, and that'll last quite a long time, unless you've got hundreds of hedgehogs drinking it all. But no, seriously, that should last quite a long time. You can get automatic food dispensers, I suppose you could, that you leave for cats, which obviously will be suitable for a hedgehog feeding station as well. I feed the birds as well, so it's all good. There's a bird bath there as well. Cool, so we're doing some really good things here. So another great thing you can do if you wish, make your hedgehogs feel at home, is create a hedgehog house. Now these come in all different shapes and sizes, and you can buy them. Some are less suitable than others. So this one I believe is a pretty good design. It was not, I didn't make this one. It was made by a guy on Facebook I came across, local to me. It's been made out of an old wine case, and he's done a few adaptations on it. So it's got a lid, a nice waterproof lid made of roofing felt. You can open it up, and the hedgehog goes in through there, which is like about 4 or 5 inches square. Then he's got like a partition wall here, and another access point, so that helps prevent drafts and helps stop other animals getting in there. Foxes forcing their way and causing disturbance. Excuse me. And then you've got the main nesting chamber here. I filled that with some nice hay. The hedgehogs will use that, pull their own material in, leaves and what have you, and they'll create a little nest. That is actually suitable as a hibernation site, or for a female to give birth, or just for a hedgehog to sleep in during the daytime. So that is a really good thing to do. And then you can just hide that away in the bushes. Don't leave it out in the open. You need to sort of secrete it away in some undergrowth. So I'll show you where I'm going to put mine. So I've got this scrubby bushy area in the corner of my garden, and I'm going to put it in this little hollow here. That's perfect in there. It's nice and dark and quiet, so that is going to be an ideal place for me to put it. And don't keep looking at it all the time, just maybe check it every now and again, otherwise the hedgehog will get a little bit miffed if he is in there, so don't fiddle with it too much. But that's a fantastic way of giving a hedgehog a ready-made sort of nice little place for them to hide away in. So let's go and see where it is now. So there's all the nice bit of overgrown habitat in the corner of my garden. And let's go and see the hedgehog house. And there it is, tucked away under some brambles and hazel and scrubby stuff. So that's going to be a good place, good opportunity for the hedgehog. Whether he'll use it is anybody's guess, but hopefully he will. He does have quite a lot of areas in my garden. There's a big wood pile there, but that's probably, he could burrow under that potentially. But yeah, there we go. So that's just a few little tips for you in helping hedgehogs, give them a bit of a boost, help them thrive better in the UK or anywhere really it would apply to. Actually, this is the tortoise run here. Let's see if the tortoise is at home. This is Nelson. He's got this area where he lives. I bet he's in bed still. He's a bit lazy. Yeah, there he is. He hasn't come out yet. Anyway, there we go. Well, it's now middle of September, so hedgehogs need to fatten up as well. So it's a great time to start doing this any time of the year, but hedgehogs need to fatten up, ready to get through the winter. So all those things I just discussed will really help. Anyway, here's Diesel Johnny Boy. Thank you for watching the video, and wishing you all very well. Over and out.